Hi there everybody, this is David, and I know that I'm late to the party, but I wanted to do this review justice on Atelier Resleriana. It came out a couple of weeks ago, and I have finally finished the game. Like we all know, this fall release schedule is jam-frickin' packed to the gills, and you have to kind of fit these games in where you can, and I finally beat it, so I'm fitting in this review. This is actually the second Atelier game of the year, and it is much more traditional than Atelier Yumiya. It is turn-based. It is more like zones rather than like an open world, like a Xenoblade thing. It's much more of a traditional Atelier experience, and I am loving this series. It is up there with Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Tales, Star Ocean, all that kind of good stuff. If you've played Atelier in the past but had like time limits and stuff and you didn't like it, I say get back into Atelier now. It is something different, it is something special, and it's definitely changed, and I do want to tell you all about it. And I do think that's worth a sub as you come and you join a party and you level on up with me. And with your sub, your like, and your brand new hype, that would help me out a ton. Thank you so much for that, and now let's go ahead and dive right on into Atelier Resleriana. So first of all, you can choose from two different protagonists, Rias and Slade, who each have a different story to tell. Kind of like Tales of Xillia, where you choose between Milla and Jude. The story itself, the main storyline, 90% of it is still exactly the same, but there will be a little bit of different storytelling here and there, depending on which protagonist that you choose. The story's really lighthearted, and it follows, of course, Rias and Slade. And Rias is your alchemist, because, you know, she's the girl, and Slade is your mysterious warrior, because he's the boy. And while Rias can use her magical alchemy powers, Slade can use this kind of like magical bracelet that his father gave him to access different places, so the two of them together with both of their mysterious powers do kind of make a good team. They're both from this main hub town that was like completely annihilated by this mysterious event 12 or so years before the events of the main game. So the basic gist of the storyline is figuring out what caused that horrible event and then rebuilding the town back to its former glory through, you know, alchemy, your shop, fairies, and of course the Wanderers. But who are the Wanderers? This is a fancy term for the characters who come from other worlds who have wandered into your world from dimensional paths. It's essentially, you know, various party members from previous games or alchemists and heroes from the previous games as well. Oh, and if you're thinking that this is a mobile game, it's not. It's a console game. It's based upon that mobile game, but this is a console game. As I said before, the zones are super large, they're filled with treasures, exploration spots, secrets, powerful bosses, and other stuff to find. But again, they are not open world like Yumiya, they're more open zones. They're not massively huge, but they're also not like hallway simulators either like Digimon. It's a happy medium, which I love. And another thing in all Atelier games, as you know, is material gathering. And, oh, I've got to say, they've made it so much better. It is super easy this time around. You just go on over to the material that you want, they're labeled, you swat it once, and then all the items come flying right on back to you. Back in Atelier Ryza, you had to like switch over between the tools. Do you want to use the scythe? Do you want to use the axe? You know, do you want to use your weapon? So you had to switch the tool that you're using. You had to whack the rocks 2 or 3 times. Then you had to run over each item in order to get them. Here, you hit one button, it automatically says which tool you want to use, and then all the items fly over to you, so it doesn't, you know, take forever to gather items, which is really nice. You can hold up to 500 items in your basket, which is great. That's plenty to have. And they are automatically deposited into your container whenever you go to your shop, or the town, or the Atelier. You don't have to do it manually. It's a great quality of life improvement as far as gathering is concerned, I've got to say. And back in the day, if you got extraneous items, like, it was kind of useless, they didn't do anything. But here, because you run this shop, you're able to sell all of your extraneous extra items at the shop and make tons of money doing so, which is good because enemies will give you like 5 gold pieces. But whenever you sell items in your shop, you get like 20,000 gold pieces. It's kind of nice. For the shop, there's like a fairy system, kind of like in Breath of Fire 3 with like the fairy village that they had, and each different fairy is proficient in their own little thing, whether it be cleaning, customer service, or managing the inventory. And you start off with 3 fairies, but as you go through these randomly generated dungeons that are called dimensional portals, then you'll find out, other fairies who are trapped in there, and you can grab them and you can bring them back to your town and your shop, and they can help you out further, increasing your sales and your money. Combat is traditionally turn-based. It is not action like Yumiya was. You can choose each party member's action to do an attack, a skill, or an item, and each attack or skill has an associated element with it, and the game will straight up tell you if an enemy is weak to that element, or if it resists it, or if it's like no effect or whatever. There's no guessing games going on here. You can also switch your party between the front row and the back row in order to utilize everybody's strengths and weaknesses. And then in addition to that, there's kind of like this multi-action bar where 2 characters can attack at the same time. There's like 5 of these little slots right there, and you hit the L button, and then you could have, 2 characters attack, and that will take up one of the little slots right there. But you can get more slots just by attacking and hitting weaknesses and things like that. So you can use those multi-actions constantly. It's really nice. In addition to that, there is a fast forward feature in combat, which I love, and a turn order gauge on the right-hand side of the screen telling you, whose turn is coming up next. And in kind of like a Trails twist, you know how there they had like each turn had like an associated bonus, so maybe you got more Sepith or more CP or HP recovery or whatever. It's the same sort of thing here. Each turn has like a little bonus associated with it, and if you kill the enemy who has like a turn bonus, then that turn bonus will kind of move on over to your turn and you'll get their bonus. So you can get, extra strength or defense power or healing or whatever, which is really nice. There's also kind of a blocking mechanism going on here in like a timed attack sort of thing, like Mario RPG, where if you hit the button, at the correct time, you'll block the attack. If you hit it at the precise right time, you will get a perfect guard and completely negate it. But if you are bad at timed button presses, you can just turn on an auto guard thing in the settings that will make sure that you guard every single attack, but you won't be able to get any perfect guards if you do that. And again, I do think that that is a very good quality of life feature. Encounters are on screen, they are not random, but they don't really chase after you, so it's not stressful or anything, so that gives you plenty of time to go around and gather all the items and everything that you need and all that kind of good stuff. But you are going to want to fight the enemies anyway in order to get SP for your skill tree and fulfill the various quests around town. The skill tree is how you power up your characters. You get more SP, and they're able to put that SP into their stats, their attack, their defense, their HP, their skills, their items, all that kind of stuff. Crafting has been made super nice and easier too. Normally, crafting in an Atelier game, I feel like you need like a doctorate to figure it out. But this one, super easy. And all you have to do is choose the corresponding colors of each item. Basically, each item has 2 colors on it, and there's one on the left and one on the right, and then you have to kind of attach the colors. So if you start off with one that has like red on the right, your next item you'll want to have the red on the left so that those attach together. And the more items that you're able to attach together, the better and more powerful your equipment or whatever will come out. It's very fun, it's very easy, it's very intuitive. You have immediate access to fast travel, so you can go wherever you want to. It is very, very nice. Multiple difficulty levels that you can choose from as well. Had a super fun time with this game. However, I am just going to put this out there. At this point, the Atelier series is going on strong and it's more popular than ever. We've had 2 spectacular entries into the series in 1 year. So I think it is high time that we got these games dubbed in English. It's ridiculous. It's constant. Like, you're running around these zones back and forth, looking around for items and stuff like that, and your party members are talking, but they're talking in Japanese, and you don't know what they say because you can't really stop and read it. It would be so nice to have this dubbed in English. It would just be so much better, so much nicer, so much more, I would just be able to get into the game, better. And the PlayStation 2 games, those were dubbed into English. Why can't we have them dubbed into English here on the PS5? I feel like there's no excuse for that. So that's my one gripe about Atelier Resleriana. Otherwise, I thought it was a fantastic game. If you are into Atelier, if you're into exploration, turn-based combat, fun, lighthearted storylines. You cannot go wrong here. So now I want to hear from you in the comments. How do you feel about the game? Did you enjoy it? Do you like Atelier? Let me know. Talk to me. And as always, have a good